what's up, everyone, and welcome to Market Recap with myself, the Swinging Bull, and I'm joined by the lovely LilyStar. We do this every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. How you doing today, Lily?
Doing good, Bull. How are you doing? Welcome,
Doing pretty
everybody.
good. Yep, doing pretty good. Just looking at the heat map today. SPY was down. Let's see what they ended with. Negative 0.88%. In the red, of course, for the SPY, which follows the S&P 500 index. So I was just looking at the heat map here, and we had Microsoft was down quite a bit for a company like Microsoft, down 4.10%. Google was down 1.44%. Amazon down 2.25%, and Apple was slightly green. Tesla ended up being down about 0.5%. And I did want to mention energy took a pretty big hit today,
Do that.
and yeah, the reason why they took a hit was oil basically plummeted today over recession fears, and China had a COVID spike. So
Oh,
of course, with recession, people aren't going to be out, supposedly be out driving around and going doing a bunch of stuff. So that's why oil kind of trends down with recession fears. And then, of course, the China COVID spike, worries about, maybe lockdowns or something like that again. It's going to affect the energy as well. So that's why the whole energy sector took quite a beating today, even though they've been kicking butt throughout the year.
yeah. And I
Um,
see a mixture. I mean, we got a lot of green, but we got a lot of red too. Some of our
yeah,
bigger cap stocks are red today.
yeah, kind of a mixed bag, but you're right, because of some of these bigger names like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Tesla, Walmart, all the big boys are in the red with the exception of Apple. And Facebook was up green 0.25%. But whenever we have these big companies red like this, it's going to drag the market down with it, so to speak. So interesting stuff there. Definitely a mixed bag today, more towards the
True.
red side.
But that's something to
Um,
think about going into tomorrow because we have the CPI numbers coming out tomorrow. I'm not sure what time. Is it 8:30 in the morning that usually hits?
yeah, the numbers are going to be the data is going to be released at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Is the CPI data is going to come out? And for those listening that don't know what the CPI inflation data means, it's the Consumer Price Index inflation data that's going to be released, and it's a measure of the average change over time in the prices paid by consumers. So the main report we're going to be looking at, I'll go ahead and switch to the economic calendar here. So Wednesday, 8:30 in the morning. Of course, core CPI, the monthly, that's going to be something to watch for kind of some smaller data just based on 1 month. But the CPI year over year data, that's what everyone's going to be looking at. Okay. So it's tomorrow's report's going to release the June figures for year over year. The previous year over year CPI release came in at 8.6%. They are forecasting an 8.8% for tomorrow. So my opinion is if the CPI numbers come in higher than 8.8%, which is the forecast,
Yeah.
more than likely we're going to have a red day tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
think the market will like that. If we're not hitting that number below, um,
Correct.
and every time that's happened before, it's been kind of ugly for us. So,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if it comes in like 8.9 or even 9%,
yeah,
it's going to be a selling. It's going to be a red day tomorrow. Now, if the CPI year over year data comes in lower than 8.8, which is what the forecast is, we very
yeah,
well could have a green
we
day
could
tomorrow.
absolutely we could see a run, but I've seen numbers like that come in before, and I mean, blast off, just blast off, and we would run, run, run. The next day gave every bit of it back. So even be careful in those days as well, and
Yeah,
realize what's happening in this type of market, you guys.
yeah, big money likes to play a lot of tricks on
Oh
days
yeah,
like this.
rug
The
pull.
CPI numbers could come in favorably, and it'll start off looking like a bull run, and then hedge funds,
Yeah.
big money, they could attempt to push it down because they know everyone's going to be trying to get into the calls if the data is
Oh
good.
yeah.
So they'll push it down, kind of burn the theta on a lot of the options, and eventually push it back up because the
Yeah,
numbers,
and that stuff hurts when that happens.
yeah. Now, if this is a shot in the dark, but if the CPI number comes in below 8.6%, which would be obviously below the forecast of 8.8, but also below the previous reading, it's going to be super bullish. But there's a lot of analysts that are saying that maybe we've hit peak inflation and this and that. So tomorrow, we're going to find out exactly,
Yeah.
if we did hit a peak or not.
We've got to start seeing a trend down. We absolutely do. Before we can start saying that.
Yeah. And
I know they're hopeful though.
Yeah, no, I'm an optimistic person, and regardless if it's good or bad, in the premium Discord, we play both sides of the field there.
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter to us which way.
Yeah, I mean, even if stocks are running sideways and consolidating, we could do some iron condors or some advanced options trading there. So we can play up, down, sideways. It really don't matter for us. Of course, if you have a retirement account with some blue chip stocks in it, you of course want the numbers to be good, to help out some of our long term holdings and stuff like that. But another interesting thing to keep our eye on for the economic calendar for this week, not only CPI for tomorrow morning, but Thursday we have initial jobless claims. That's going to be an important number to watch there. The previous reading was 235,000. The forecast is pretty flat. They're expecting 234,000, and these are jobless claims. Okay, so we'll have our eye on that. Friday, we have retail sales numbers coming out in the morning. The last reading was negative 0.3%. They're forecasting a 0.9%. So they're forecasting an increase in retail sales. So we'll see how that shakes out of the bag on Friday. And then, there's some other data that could be important depending on what kind of positions you have, like import price index, business inventories, things of that nature. So, but yeah, today was definitely a red day. Kind of mixed bag, but more to the red. I have SPY pulled up right here. We actually started pre-market was actually looking, pre-market, right, 4 a.m. Eastern, we did have a gap down on the SPY from 384 and some change, and we gapped down to 381 and some change. So like a $3 gap down in the SPY. Recovered very nicely in the pre-market. It came back and filled the gap and some. And I think that might have tricked some people today, especially after the gap down, and then we started trending up for the remainder of pre-market. And there might have been some people that might have got trapped in some calls when the bell rang, because what ended up happening, obviously within the first 30 minutes, lots of volatility. People probably got caught in some calls, and then sure enough, had some selling off.
So that's the thing, off. Though. That's the thing, Bull. I'm sorry, but that chart right there, that huge green candle right there. So that right there, just a lot of people were probably just buying in because here it goes. It's happening, and then bam, we hit that resistance that we've been hitting our head on. We've been giving it back around this area, and then it struggles all day, and then look at the end of the day. So tomorrow, where did we finish today? Can't see it. I'm sorry.
We finished at 380 and 83 cents. So down 0.88%.
So we might have some buildup in pre-market tomorrow, but because that CPI is coming out at 8:30, I'd be careful.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna be sitting on the sidelines for the first hours.
I would touch it.
Yeah, well, just see how the market reacts to the CPI data. And, this morning, we hit a high of 386.16, sold off all the way down. I had this fib level already drawn out And it sure enough, it bounced right off that fib level of 382.43.
Yeah.
Started recovering and consolidating a little bit. And then this afternoon, right before power hour, it was literally 2:55 p.m. Eastern. We got our first red candle that broke down below these previous candles just a little bit, but it did close lower, which signaled that we're probably going to be going down from there. And sure enough, from 3 to 4 p.m., sold off. So sold off from about 383 all the way down to 378, basically 379. So about a $4 move to the downside. Recovered a little bit, and now we're just kind of consolidating.
Yeah, it'll be
sideways right now.
interesting what pre-market looks like though, because that always makes me very apprehensive, especially if pre-market's looking really pretty.
Yeah,
I don't trust that. And if you're trading in pre-market, then you would be trading the equities, of course. But if you're trading in pre-market, just keep that in mind and be careful.
yeah, definitely. I mean, we've seen fake outs before, and perfect example was this morning, that we were just talking about. We had the gap down, it recovered in pre-market, filled the gap. So
Yeah.
that kind of probably tricked some people out. But also, we've also seen once gaps get filled, sometimes they do go back the other way. So that's exactly what happened today. But yeah, some levels to look at for tomorrow would be right now we're kind of in this channel in the fib levels here between 381.27 and 380.12. We'll just call it between 380 and 381. We'll see how the price action keeps going for the remainder of extended hours. We still got about 3 hours left for extended hour tradings. Then we'll see what pre-market brings. If we do stay in this channel, we'll be looking at the 381 and 380 level to see where it goes from there. But got some interesting levels here. I think if we are bullish tomorrow, we could possibly test the high from today, which would be 386.
Yeah, if we can push past where it came down to in the after it opened and it sold off, if we can break past that, then I can see that happening for sure.
Yeah.
So we'll see those numbers.
It's all about the numbers tomorrow, the CPI data. So I think if we're green tomorrow, we're definitely, I think, could retest the high of today, which was 386. If we end up having a red day tomorrow, it's, we're already kind of close to the low of today, which was basically 379. So what we'll have to do there is go to a bigger time frame and look for some more support in the previous here, which I mean, we could be looking at low 370s for sure. I'm thinking 373 area. I mean,
Yeah.
I got this longer term fib. I have two fibs. I have a shorter term fib drawn out here.
I do the same thing.
Yeah, I got a longer term one.
Yeah.
So if we end up being red tomorrow, I'm looking at 375.41 for some support. If we end up being bearish tomorrow, and then the next level is going to be low 370s for me here. So some good levels to look at for tomorrow. Let's see what else we got going on here. Another thing another play I did today, actually opened it up yesterday, was PLRX. I do have a short position on this right now.
Oh yeah.
They actually had quite a day yesterday. They ran over 176%,
which is a lot.
Yeah. And Lee, Mr. Stock Lock Profits, our premium shot caller, he handles the short channel as well. I dabble in there as well with some alerts, but Lee alerted this PLRX short. We got in around 22.50. So as you can see, we're already up 10% because it's sitting at $20 right now. So,
yes, and they had an offering too. I don't think they've determined the offering price yet, but that did it.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. They did propose. They did file for $150 million public offering of common stock. There are some rumors that it's around the $8 or $9 area, but that has not been confirmed.
Yeah, I did see it was priced at market of what it was doing at the time, which was around the $8. I think $8.88, something like that. I read. So it's possible. Usually, when I see those types of offerings, and I hate to say this to everybody, if they are playing it or hopeful for continuation, but usually it comes in under that where the market was at that time. So I wouldn't be surprised or shocked if I see it between $5 and $7, to be honest. Now, could it be higher? Absolutely, it could be, but that's the usual.
Yeah, well, I mean, what I see sometimes is the offering is usually going to be lower than the market price, and the reason being is whoever's buying those shares, if there's a hedge fund that's going to scoop up on this offering, they want to try and get it cheaper.
They want a deal, and the company wants money or needs money. So it's a business transaction. So just be aware of that.
Absolutely. So, and we see that all the time with offerings where usually they'll wait until the stock pumps up quite a bit. Then they'll announce that they're gonna do an offering.
It's almost like, oh, by the way.
Exactly. Yep. Oh, by the way. And what happens after that is it normally sells off a bit.
Yeah, and it could bleed down for some days. I mean, I wouldn't say it go right away, but if they announce the price and it's like $7, we could see a bigger hit on that for sure.
Yeah, I think so. And let me go ahead and draw a fib on this.
That's just sitting at 19 right now.
Yeah, so here's some levels I have. Let me make it a little bit darker. Just a couple levels that we need to look at. Was hitting its head on this $20, about this almost $21 level here. Attempted to get above it a couple times. I mean, didn't even really get above it, but it hit its head on it. I'm looking for a 50% pullback on the short position. Like I said, we opened a short position on at $22.50 on this yesterday. We're already up 10%, but because they just announced the offering, Lee actually alerted this before they announced the offering, which is great. Yeah. That's fantastic. We love when that happens because we're playing the downside here. So we kind of got a little bonus on this short position because we entered the position before they announced the offering. Now that the offering is announced, this is what happened today. So,
and they're trying to hold it up. I see that, but
they're trying. But I mean, compared to the previous close, I mean, yesterday's close was at $23, so it's already dropped. It's already dropped $3 since they announced the offering. I'm personally looking for a 50% pullback, which is going to put us right at the $16.75 level. This is where I'm going to start trimming my short position and taking profit. I'm thinking we probably might get there tomorrow.
Well, the other thing to keep in mind with that is, because we took a short position, absolutely. But we're not the only ones. We are most definitely not the only ones that took a short on this stock that ran 170% in one day.
Oh, sure.
So that was a huge move. So there's a lot that's going to pile into that probably. And the offering's going to help with that.
Yeah, I mean, even yesterday when I entered this short position, the amount of short shares available, it was a little over 100,000, and then in after hours yesterday, it went to zero, which means all the short shares got kind of gobbled up a little bit.
Wow.
The interesting thing is this morning when we had this sell off, it was like a $3 sell off. Basically, it was some people selling, things of that nature. And then I checked the short shares, and they're actually, it went from zero back up to a couple 100,000. So not sure if that's because maybe some shorts covered. Maybe they covered, in pre-market.
Or maybe it's like with options as well. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't do the short side, but I do know we play them.
Yeah, I mean, I play them all the time, and usually what happens is when something runs 170% or whatever, and then they announce an offering, anytime we get these little pops, okay, especially after it's sold off, like if you had a short position around $23, and then pre-market it's at 21, anytime you see these little pops, that could be shorts covering right there.
Yes.
And that's why when I woke up this morning, there was some short shares available, even though in after hours yesterday it was zero. Now there's a couple 100,000 because every time we got one of these little pops, I think it was shorts covering their position, taking some profit. So I think it continues downtrending, to be honest with you. Like I said,
I do
I'm
too.
waiting. Yeah. So I'm looking for, a pullback to the 61.8% fib, which is, we call it the golden fib. That
Yep.
would be pretty great. That would bring us down to $15 and a $22.50 average on a short position, down to $15. That's going to be, $7.50 per share gain. I have about 300 short shares right now. So times that by $7.
Perfect.
If I can hit my target, we're talking a couple $1,000 profit there. So I'll see what happens tomorrow, when the bell rings, and maybe it dumps. What if CPI data is bad and the market in
Right. It
general
could get even
sells off?
better.
Yeah, maybe I get a little boost from the CPI data to help me get to either this 50% or 61% fib level, and get some nice profit tomorrow.
Yeah. And I
Um,
don't want to sound negative or anything like that. It just comes down to the market in general. I mean, you trade the trend, you trade what is happening. You could be a
yep,
bull all day long. I'm a bull at heart all day long. I love being a bull. I love seeing the market runs. I mean, it's just so exciting to me. Just love it. But
yeah,
that's the thing. But money can be made on the way down as well. And you have to know that. It's okay. Okay, so we're a little bearish now. And I just have to accept that. I can't just be, it's going to go up. I'm a bull. Now you got to kind of plan and adjust those things because we want to continue to make money, period.
right, absolutely,
So
yeah,
be versatile.
yeah. Got to be versatile, you know. Um,
Absolutely.
so I was looking at Carnival Cruise Lines here. Just want to
I was
draw
looking
some
at them the other
levels.
day. They'd taken a bad hit. I think it was last week
Yeah,
I was looking at them.
yeah,
Yeah.
they did pretty good today. They were up over 10% at one time. Kind of sold off a little bit. You see how this price action lines exactly up with my fib levels here.
Yeah, I just love
Um,
using the fibs.
yeah, so we got to bounce off this 20. It had a good run today. And as we know, typically when we do get runs, I'm not going to say it's guaranteed or that it's like 99%, but there's always a really, really good chance when we get a run out of these stocks that we do get a 23% pullback. And that's exactly what we got on
Yeah, they
Carnival.
have to rest and breathe. Absolutely.
It's a healthy
That
pullback.
happens. It is.
We RSI is starting to
You
overheat,
expect it.
and
That's
yeah,
right.
and sure enough, that's exactly what it did. And you could draw these fibs out and plot these levels, and sure enough, it pulled back exactly to this 23%, and then we got a nice bounce. So for Carnival Cruise Line, if we can keep up this momentum from today, the levels I'm going to be watching on Carnival Cruise Line for tomorrow is going to be this 927 level, which is basically this top fib line here, which was the today's high. So I'll be watching, if we can keep the momentum going, assuming, maybe we have good CPI numbers. I'll be
Yeah.
looking for a break of 927 tomorrow on Carnival. And then as far as upside, if we do go get some momentum tomorrow, and we do break this 927, the next areas I'm going to be looking at is probably going to be this high from July 6th, which was 950. So two levels to look at tomorrow if we're bullish on CCL, and then we get some Carnival Cruise Line is green tomorrow. First level is 927. Then we're looking at a break in 950, and then we have a nice gap to fill here that happened on towards the end of June. We got this gap here, and that's going to be, so if we can break 927, then break, I'd say about 950 area. I'll be looking for a gap fill
Yeah.
starting at around this 980 area, potential gap fill to in the $10 range. So that's assuming we have a green day on Carnival tomorrow and we get good CPI numbers. If tomorrow ends up being a red day, the levels to the downside for Carnival, well, they're plotted out right here on my screen. 903, about nine. We'll just call it $9 mental level there. We'll be looking for a break to the downside of that. Maybe get some put options, or we could short it. And so $9, 888, 876 kind of goes down in 10 cent increments for the levels. If we totally have a bloodbath tomorrow, and we do end up back in the $8 range, We got some pretty good support here around 825. So
Yeah, I would say as a major support. I mean, it was almost at its pre-COVID levels. I think it dropped down to 7 something back then, almost 3 years ago now.
yeah, right after COVID hit, it dropped down to 780 here. I can go back in time here. Yeah, it dropped to 780. That's right
Yeah.
where COVID hit. So we haven't
And then,
quite hit the 780 yet,
no,
but we are getting very, very close. Here's
and
an
we may
810.
not. We may
Yeah,
not. It just
we
said
may
that was
not.
an opportunity there, and and to be honest, if you're not considering the bull run that we just had for the past couple of years, um, that's a good trajectory for the stock in general, just for normal average growth. But going down to 780 was an opportunity, and this could
Oh,
be the
absolutely.
same here. So
Yeah,
don't
yeah. I
blame me for
mean,
playing it. I played
yeah.
EVFM today. Actually,
EVFM.
I did a rinse and repeat. That's what I call it, R&R, with
Yeah, I love it.
EVFM today.
Let me
So,
pull
I
that
was
up.
telling everybody to get in, or advise, not advising, but suggesting, we'll just say,
Sure.
to get in at $1.13. So $1.13, and I told them $1.25. We went up to $1.24, but I was also keeping them up to date with the play. So the first time we hit $1.21, and I saw a heavy resistance, I was like, hey, take profits, or have your stop set so that we can lock it in. And we
Yeah.
did. And then it came right back down to $1.13, and I told them second buying opportunity. And then right before the bell, it just blasted. I saw the volume come in, and I went ahead and got it at $1.22, but we did hit $1.24. And then I saw some more, resistance in that area. I didn't like that. And I know CPIs tomorrow. This is a small cap stock. I went ahead and just let it go. But, for ones that don't know, I trade small caps and I trade OTC and warrants and stuff like that. So that's more my area of
Yeah.
expertise and what I do. So, like I said, we had 2 opportunities on that one. A little
Yeah.
bit
And that was
slower, not as fast as what Amy would do with momentum, but I definitely saw where it was holding that support. And right where your line is right where I had that support drawn out.
yeah.
And I would have put them in there, but I didn't catch it until afterwards. And I was like, I still think we have some room. So I went ahead and put
Um,
$1.13 for buy-in.
yeah. And I mean, it hit just about 10% profit there on a day
Yeah.
trade. So that's easy money right there. I love that.
Yeah, it was
Absolutely.
nice. And
It
then we
looks
got
like
to
it
do it
looks like it wants
twice.
to keep. It looks like it wants to keep going tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Well,
Like we have a lot of options expiring on that one on Friday. So Friday they have call options expiring for $2.50. So I'm not really sure that this run is done. So I was hoping today might be the day, but we got a little bit of action, and I decided to go ahead and just I'll reanalyze it tomorrow after the CPI. Let's see what's happening with that. Especially with
yeah.
this being a smaller cap.
Well,
And we might play again.
yeah. And I mean, we're making higher lows here, so we can go ahead and plot
Yes.
this out. So what we want to look for tomorrow, and I'll go ahead and make this green here.
Mm-hmm.
We really want to hold this trend line here
Right.
for continuation. An ideal day trade would be, if the price retraces back to this trend line and we get a bounce and a nice confirmation candle, we could probably go long there from a bounce off this trend line. So this is the line that we want to keep our eye on for tomorrow on EVFM if it wants to keep running.
I agree. But if we
Yeah.
do pull back because numbers are bad, let's say we just drop at market open or whatever, the $1.09, $8, $9 area is a must to continue with this one if we're going to get anywhere. If not, we might fall back down to the 94-cent level. So, just give yourself some time and patience there if it's one you're interested in playing. But I do like that $8, $9 support there. It's pretty solid so far.
Yeah, the $9 support that came into play yesterday bounced very nicely off that.
Yeah.
I mean, yesterday when the bell rang,
Yep.
right before the market closed, right before the bell rang, bounced off the 109, shot up to almost 130. It's funny, it hit my level right here. So these levels are, lots of weight putting on these levels because they're actually holding up here. And then sure enough, today, this morning, hit that same 109 level again, bounced off very nicely. I want to add that was a nice bounce there, and here we are. you know, and now we have
I did a lot of
a higher low.
consolidation. We did actually hit the $1.21, and like I said, I saw a lot of resistance. There was a lot of sell orders in, and I was like, you know what? I feel like we're going to get another opportunity. Why not go ahead and take this, or just make sure you have a tight stop on it? And that's what happened. We got to do it again. So rinse and repeat all day long, you guys.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
anyway, it was great talking to you, Bull, and going over the market, what's going on, being aware of CPI data and what's happening. But it's over 5:30 now. Look at you. You was talking.
Yep, it's 5:30. I'm gonna go teach a stock and option education course that we offer at Penny Boys, PB Alerts. We do for everyone watching on YouTube, we do have a link in the description that takes you to our free Discord where we do give out free alerts, free stock alerts and free option alerts and free crypto alerts. And then of course we have a premium section where we have a lot more alerts getting alerted there more often. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream for the YouTube people. Anyone listening on Discord, I believe Lily's going to stay and chat with you guys.
See you for a little while, for sure.
Yep.
Got some
We'll
questions,
see you guys.
I'm sure. Y'all have a good one, YouTube. Thank you.
All right, I'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Bye, Bull.